in the mix with DJ Igor Beatz.
Hold up. Live on BayLifeRadio.com. Who's this? Hello?
Hey, what's up? This is GMS.
Hey, what it do? GrandMixer GMS. What's happening with you?
Hey, how you doing?
Chilling. I was just about to call you.
Okay.
Oh, good. Thanks for calling in, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Hey, I love the show. I was listening to you all morning. Yeah, really good, man. I really appreciate what you're doing.
Oh, man, for sure, man. Salute. That's great coming from one of the pioneers, man.
Okay, we're on. I hear it, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So for the BayLifeRadio world, tell them a little bit about GrandMixer GMS and how you came into hip-hop.
Man, well, it was actually I was originally a breakdancer. Well, let me back up a little bit. So technically the first time I DJ'd was when I was 11, but I didn't become a DJ until I was 14. And so I'm actually the first DJ to ever mix for commercial radio in Spokane. And I wasn't planning on doing anything like that. I was just trying to promote hip hop here up in Spokane, and I really didn't like the radio back then. Just it was nothing like. So when I was younger, I would go over to Seattle and listen to Nastiness and sort of mix a lot on K-Fox and the guys over on KTOY also, they would mix, and there was nothing like that over here in Spokane. So that it was just from my love of hip hop and mixing that's how that ended up happening.
That's what's up, man. Man, it seems like it's been a long journey.
Oh yeah.
So let me ask you this. I always gotta ask the main number one DJ question.
Okay.
How are you feeling about DJing and technology, as far as turntables and controllers and?
Well, personally, I think it's good to embrace technology. Because if you look at it, if you go back to like the early part of the century, in order to play it, you couldn't really play a record. In order to hear music, you had to have a band. So I'm all for embracing technology, but I think that it's important to keep a balance. So me, I like to keep the Technics 1200s, but I watch a lot of the DJs now with the newer technology, and I think if you can keep that blend, keep the old. I love the vinyl. I love the Technics 1200s. Keep that. But also, I don't see a problem with innovating and embracing new things. You know what I mean? And so I think it's really cool watching a lot of the DJs now, a lot of things that they do with their sets. So, I'm all for it. As long as you don't lose the... DJing has come a long way. And, you listen to how the DJs would scratch back in the day as opposed to now. There's continual advancement. So as long as you keep... you strike that balance. Don't forego the vinyl. All of that from back then. But I don't think people should just be anti-technology. You know what I mean?
Right. I feel you because the reason why I asked because I have DJ friends and they on both sides of the fence, all over the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Some love it, some hate it, and it's all in between. And you hit the nail on the head. It's all in balance, really. That's what I believe. I agree with that. It's all in balance. I think DJs should learn the old school way. I think, I think it's, just coming from then, man. I think it's kind of unfair if you could just get in without really keeping the heritage. Like if you can't close the door to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. So, the old school methods, I think if you started there, you can actually become even, that can actually help you, because I remember when I first started, I didn't have Technics 1200s. I would collect all these turntables from like yard sales or whatever, and I would experiment with them. And so things like, there's no pitch control. So in order to match beats, I had to thumb the records, and you had to get a really good feel for it. So that actually, I think, improves someone as a DJ, having to do things like that. Because for one, it requires you to think creatively.
Right.
And then also it just, when you are finally able to graduate from those type of turntables and those mixers to the Technics 1200s and whatnot, you're just a lot better, I think.
That's what's up. GMS, you still active now? You still DJing?
Well, so I just came out of retirement.
That's what's up. Got the OG back in the ring. I love to hear that.
Yeah, and it was actually by accident. I've kept in contact with Nasty Ness over the years, and Ness, he's such an amazing person. He's not only incredibly talented, but what he's accomplished in life. I mean, coming from the Philippines and going through his struggles, and then getting into music and setting the landscape for hip hop and DJ culture in the Pacific Northwest, and then in part, I think, in the world, because I think Sir Mix-a-Lot's career would have been different were it not for Ness. And that's not to take anything away from Mix-a-Lot, because he worked incredibly hard, and I'm sure he would have been a success either way. But Ness's impact on the world of music, even though it's not well known by the masses, it is there in the strands of music DNA. Now, I talked to Ness last summer, and he said he was going to be up in Seattle, and he wanted to come over to Spokane and see me because, we hadn't seen each other in a long time. So then I had an idea, and I asked Ness, I said, I've asked if he's actually ever been to Spokane, because, he had never come over when I was DJing. And he said, well, no. And I said, okay, well, how about if I promote you coming over here? And it wasn't to sell anything. It was just a way for me to say thank you to him for not only what he's done in music, but also for just being there for me. And, he said, yeah, okay. So I put together a video promo, and, I hadn't produced music or mixes for quite some time. I mean, I did a little scratching here and there and played my keyboard from time to time, but, I hadn't really done any production. So when I was making the promo, it just felt really good. And it was like there was a void within me that was being filled by getting back on the turntables, editing, and mixing, and creating. Plus, learning something new, with the video editing program, is a challenge. I like that because I've grown to really like challenges, puzzles, problem solving. And I've really changed my mindset from when I was younger regarding challenges and obstacles, because to me now obstacles are actually just opportunities to do our best and overcome, which, is helpful not only in music, but in life in general. So I did the promo, and Ness really liked it, and that was so rewarding because I grew up listening to him and the mixes that Ness used to create. Oh man, Ness was way ahead of his time. For him to like a video and audio mix that I created, that was really satisfying. So when he came to Spokane, he had mentioned that he was thinking about bringing back his show K-Fox Nightbeat, and I told him I thought it was a great idea. And he asked if I could do a couple things for the show, and I said, yeah, of course. So I started thinking, okay, so Ness needs an intro for the show. So I put together an intro, and it sounded good, but it really wasn't what he was looking for. So I listened to his ideas, and I put together this intro, and I actually used ideas from some of his mixes from the original 1250 K-Fox back in the day, and I did that as a way to pay homage to Ness and K-Fox. And after going back and forth with some of the production on the intro, we agreed on the final product, and so that's how the intro came about. Now, after I was listening to the show, I loved it, and I wanted to be a part of it. So I asked Ness if I could submit a mix for him for the show, and he said, of course. So I did, and he really liked it. And so my official coming out of retirement was on January 26th this year, 2020. And since then, I've been submitting mixes every month. And actually, my new mix, it airs this Sunday night on the show. And what I like about being a part of the show is I've gotten a lot of positive response from listeners about, my mixes bringing back a lot of good memories. Just like you guys' show, I was listening to it, man, you guys are taking me back, and, and really, which the theme of the show is bringing back the memories through the music, which, if I can help bring back some good memories for people, that really makes it worth it,
Yes,
and so, yeah, again, I appreciate what you guys are doing too. That's really cool. And real quick, if I can, I want to say to everyone out there in the world, the world is pretty much on lockdown right now with the COVID-19, but I want to send everyone out there, good thoughts, prayers, and energy. And I know, everyone is struggling and dealing with this adversity, but hopefully we can all use this to become stronger, because every adversity, every failure, even every heartache, it carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. So, anyone out there who's struggling, just stay strong and keep pressing forward, because, we can make it through this.
Yes. Wise words, man. Thank you, GMS.
Thank you.
For sure. Before we do get out of here, though, can you give us your connections, man, and how can we hear the show?
Okay, so you can listen a couple ways. You can contact me just on, you just go to Facebook, GrandMixer GMS. We just put the Instagram up there. I stayed away from social media for a while just because, I don't like negativity. I like putting people instead of putting people down, I'd rather pull people up, and I wasn't seeing a lot of that. But we just put the Instagram back up, so you can contact me there. But as far as the show, K-Fox Night Beat, it's every Sunday at 9 o'clock, and you can listen via the TuneIn Radio app and just go to Rainier Avenue Radio, or you can download the Rainier Avenue Radio app, and it's K-Fox Night Beat.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Thank you, GrandMixer GMS, man. I appreciate your time on BayLifeRadio. Anybody out there you want to give shouts out to?
Well, of course, Nasty Ness. He's always been there. My mom, all my friends from back in the day, everybody now. Anyone who's anyone who's struggling, anyone who's going through anything, man, just keep your head up and just keep going. And anyone needs to reach out or whatever, I'm here. And thank you also, Igor. I really appreciate what you're doing, and just everyone out there, thank you so much. All the fans who listen to the show, we really appreciate the support.
For sure. Thank you a lot. Shouts out to Jeff Quan by the Pound Media, One World Magazine, Square
Definitely,
Vision.
definitely. What's up, Jeff?
For sure. He listening right now, too. What it do, Jeff? Oh,
yeah.
For
hey,
sure.
he is super cool. I really like Jeff.
For sure. Jeff is a genius, man. Hey,
yeah,
he know a lot of people. For sure. So, man, we going to get out of here. Y'all stay tuned. BayLifeRadio.com. More good music coming up. Thanks a lot, GrandMixer GMS.
Hey, thank you.
What's up, man? You nasty.
For sure. I'm on BayLifeRadio.com.
Excellent, huh? I'm sorry, gentlemen. We don't play rap music here. We play real music.